Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, May 31st, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. It's been a great day so far. Definitely in a good place. Time management wise, today has been a big improvement over yesterday, but definitely still not where it needs to be. I think I was within acceptable limits of getting to my practice session on time today. I was maybe like running, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes behind or something like that. But then I sort of like got a little lax on myself and I ended up being like 20 minutes late to the session. So I might have to penalize myself for that. Um, I'm not sure exactly how that looks. I said a couple days ago that I would skip the next day's session if I was late. Um, and that might be too big of a cost to bear for me, but I'm gonna come up with something to make sure that I get it right. And it sucks. It's painful. It's difficult to be that hard on ourselves sometimes. Some of us are too hard on ourselves, but some of us aren't hard enough. We have our goals are here, and then our actions are here. That's just almost certainly not going to work out. I mean, who knows? Maybe get lucky, but I'm really confronting that right now, guys. I'm really like face to face with this internal challenge of self sabotage that a lot of us have around our personal goals of like just I think we're just biologically programmed and we're really incentivized by the outside world to just like deal with whatever's right in front of us, like buy this now, or like look at this now, put your attention on this thing now. So much of the internet is based on that. There's like think tanks of the most brilliant people in the world thinking about how can we get people to pay attention to what we want them to pay attention to. And that's intense. That is intense, man. But I don't want to get too macro or like make this some big social commentary. I'm just telling it like it is. But for me, I really, really want to find a way to cut those distractions out. And if you guys have any thoughts on that, let me know. I'm definitely considering like just not using my smartphone in the first hours of the day, just to make sure that I just have zero chance of being distracted. I've had success with that in the past. But I think for me, it's all about the day before. Like the night before really sets up the next morning. And I mean, maybe this just sounds crazy to you guys, like the level of focus I'm putting on this, but like if you can't manage your time right, how are you gonna get things done that you need to get done the right way? I mean, I don't know. How are you gonna maximize your potential if you can't really manage your time? That's really the question I'm dealing with right now. So I'm improving. I want to focus on that, but I also want to focus on the fact that I'm definitely not where I want and feel like I need to be if I want to maximize what I'm doing here. So I'll keep you guys updated with what's going on with that. But I also don't want to talk about that too much. So that's where I'm at today. I'm going to get into the session. I'm going to explain as much as I can as I go through the session with you guys. And I'm going to do some online classes as usual. I'm going to do some guitar work today. And then I'm going to hit the production front hard, as is the goal right now, and listen back to the guitar takes I did yesterday for the chorus of this new song. I'm going to edit those to make sure that they sound really good, and then I'm going to start fleshing out the rest of the track. So that may include fleshing out more chorus parts, or it may include just like getting the bridge dialed in and like stuff like that. I've never really made an album the way I'm making this particular album, so I'm still getting used to my workflow. So I just hope you guys get something out of the video. Let's get right into it. All right, excellent session. um, yeah, I'm a little bit in awe right now of what I'm making right now, and I feel like this project is like bigger than me. I'm talking just in this moment what the feeling I'm having right now. I'm not saying anything about the future or how I'm gonna feel tomorrow or that this is like true or anything like that. I'm just telling you like I'm I'm in a creative place and zone that I have never ever experienced before. It feels like mind blowing. Like that's what I'd say. I feel like it's like what I'm making right now is bigger than myself, guys. It's bigger than just me or my mind or like my willpower or like anything like that. It's like I think you've probably had those moments where you've tapped into something that's bigger than just yourself. And Stephen Pressfield, in his book called The War of Art, talks about how that's really what you're working for. You know, your job is to show up and be the the location, the channel for these bits of inspiration, basically, to arise. And I've experienced that before, but I've not quite experienced it on this level. This is something totally different and totally new, and it's just crazy. Like it's hard to even talk about it and put it on video, honestly, because it's such a personal yet impersonal thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, kind of at a loss for words. But anyway, yeah. So I just decided to actually skip my online classwork today because I was behind on time, like I mentioned. And I'm realizing that the best way to manage that is just like take my loss. You know, if I've already spent that time, like don't try to catch up or try to like just get something in. It's like just that time's already spent. It's already gone. It's like putting money on a credit card or something. It's like you buy a pair of shoes for $100 and you're like, well, technically I have that $100 in my bank account. I could spend it on something else, but it's like, no, you don't do that. You take the $100, you pay it off on the credit card, and that's it. And that's kind of how I'm approaching the time thing right now. So I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes. But yeah, that was difficult, but a good move. I got into a good guitar practice and just worked on a couple, really small drills, and then I saved most of my time. I've been working the last hour and a half on the production front. Did a little bit of light reading as a break, and then just got in there and started tweaking the guitar parts I was working on yesterday. Listening back to some of the takes, I mean, none of them were like crazy insane, like mind-blowing, like oh my god, it's the take of all takes, kind of thing. But definitely a couple of them were fine, good enough, definitely, at least for now. And some of them were just okay, but I've got two takes that I think are probably usable, and then I've got another two takes in the wings that I might use for like a stereo effect or something like that later in the song, just to add a little bit more thickness to the sound, the guitar sounds. But yeah, I'm happy with the part. I'm really happy with the way the song overall is going, and I started getting in there and playing around with like how I wanted it to sound, and just doing some editing on the audio. And I think it's been a really long time since I've had that long of a stretch of time to really get in the zone, and I'm just realizing like that's just a beautiful thing, to give yourself that time to really like get past just the monotony of things and chipping away at things and really go deep into the creative moment. And yeah, I don't think I've ever had a moment where like what I just had, which was pretty powerful. But yeah, I mean, I felt it at the beginning of this track, guys, like when I was getting into the audio editing and playing around with sounds and stuff. And maybe I just haven't been using the computer enough in my production. Maybe I've been focusing too much on live instrumentation, but just the control that I have now versus doing everything through the loop station and doing everything totally live, where every effect, every sound was automatically printed, the mix was printed, the only thing I could really do was master it at the end of it. That was great in a lot of ways because it forced me to just focus on songwriting and getting things right from the beginning, which is really important. And that was sort of the goal of doing a lot of that stuff and focus on live performance. But now that I'm sort of taking a step back and using more of the studio tools that are available to me, I've just got such a broader palette. There's so many more options for tweaking things and getting things to sound exactly the way I want them, and experimenting and playing around with stuff, that it's just awesome, guys. I'm surfing the creative wave like never ever before. I mean, just light years beyond where I've ever been. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you can take something valuable from today's video. I'm just sharing my process. I'm just putting it out there, whatever that means to anyone else, that's great. Even if it means nothing, honestly, I don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care. It's just I do care. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. But I'm open to whatever sharing this creative process brings, even if that brings very little. Is what I'm saying. So I just appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals. That's what I'm out here doing. Just putting in the time, giving myself the opportunity to catch those waves when they come through, and experience something, you know, something bigger than myself, like I said, and it's pretty crazy. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys are out there having a good day. I'm kind of just rambling. I'm like I said, I'm just a little like still in that creative moment of just like, oh, you know. So anyway, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for more. Till then.